You just got to do it anyway. So I've been coming out here overall for 550 plus days. Like, that's such a big number now that I just can't even quantify, like, what that means overall. But I've been also doing potentially 10 episodes now on consistency. And across those days, I have given you all the nuts and bolts, all the different opportunities, all the different methodologies and possibilities and mind shifts and paradigm shifts and, tips and tricks to cover how to get more consistent. Because, as we've discussed, it's basically the answer. Like, it's the answer to everything you want. Like, it will deliver results. It will deliver what you want in any area, whether that's fitness, whether that's finances, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, whether it's gardening, whether it's, whatever the fuck you want. If you want results in something, it requires consistent effort over a long period of time. And as I like to always say, because it's fucking true, for longer than you think it should take. It just requires consistency. And in more areas than you want to believe, most people are just not consistent. Like, let's take New Year's resolutions, for example. There's literally a quitting day for it. From memory, I think it's January 20th or something like that, where by this point, 80% of people have quit. If you get to February, I think it's February 14th from memory, you're down to less than 5% of people are still following through on their New Year's resolutions. And of that 5%, it's something, I have to look up the stats, and I apologize for not having them off the top of my head. But by the time you get to the next year, of the 5% who are left in February, it's like 1% are still doing their New Year's resolutions. Most people do not follow through. Most people do not have what it takes. And even on a longer time scale, within 5 years of people who've lost a large amount of weight, 99% of them have put it all back on or gone back to where they were or put more on. 99%. The chances of actually changing your life are, well, astronomically small. And I think you can see that in our society. You can see that in the way people show up. You can see that in the way people approach it. Every time I bring this up, every time I talk about health and fitness, every time I talk about it is your duty, honor, and obligation to be in the best shape possible. People want to get in the comments and they want to fucking fight about it. They want to argue. They want to have pissing contests. They want to see who has the bigger dick. They want to talk about how I'm an asshole, how I'm a prick, how I should spend more time with my wife and my children or enjoying life. Well, you know what the fuck, mate? Maybe you should have a better life. Maybe you should actually take some responsibility and be a fucking adult and make adult decisions about it. This is the reality of it. That maybe we need to stop being so gentle on ourselves. Maybe we need to stop being so kind to ourselves, because I think this has led to this piss weak version of society where everyone wants to coddle you and be like, it's okay. Well, no, it's fucking not. It's not okay to be overweight. It's not, because it's bad for your health. Like, it just puts strain on your body. It puts strain on your life. It shortens your life expectancy. It diminishes how well you can function. It's just a cost negative. Like, there is no upside to it other than you get to sedate yourself. Like, we shouldn't have to have an argument about this. It shouldn't get you so riled up and offended. Talking about being in shape should be the standardized situation. But that's the reality we live in. You know? Like, what was the stat I saw the other day? A father who exercises in front of his children, that child has a 6 times more likelihood of being strong, fit, and healthy. That in itself should mean that you should do it. Like, that in itself should be enough of a reason for you to go, I am going to get into shape. Because I want the best for my children. Not only do I want the best for my children, I want them to be better than me. I want them to stand on my shoulders and far exceed me. What's the saying? Standing on the shoulders of giants. I don't think I'm a giant by any stretch of the imagination. That's why I continue to work on myself. To work on myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I want to build the greatest life possible. I am by no stretch of the imagination satisfied with where I'm at. I love my life. I love my children. I love my wife. I love the clients I get to work with and the difference I get to make in people's lives. I know that I'm making an impact on this world, but by no stretch of the imagination have I come anywhere close to the impact that I want to leave on this world, for the legacy I want to leave for my children. And that keeps me up, and that keeps pushing me forward, and that keeps driving me to do better, to be better, to see, well, what I am capable of. And so that brings me back to, well, the final version of this. Because I've given you everything. I have given you everything that you could need to utilize to make this happen. So now we're getting into the harsh ones. And I said it on the other day, that I think the highest form of love, self-love, self-respect, love for others, is to hold you accountable. If it's self-love, the highest form of self-love is self-discipline. It isn't, oh, let's have spa days, or I need a cheeky beer, or let's kick back and relax. No, it's fucking self-discipline. It is loving yourself enough to do what is necessary. Not what feels good in the moment, not what's a nicety, not what you want to do, but what you need to do. That is the highest form of self-love. That is the highest form of self-discipline. You must do what is required. So it comes back to it. You want the secret to consistency? Do it anyway. You want the secret to changing your life? Do it anyway. You want the secret to stepping into the 1%? Do it fucking anyway. This is the answer. Like, in every area, in everything you want to do, in everything you want to succeed in, the answer is do it anyway. Your feelings are irrelevant. We have stepped into this point where everyone wants to talk about their feelings and how they feel today and how they need a rest day or a mental health day. No, you just need to fucking do the work. And I promise you, if you follow through and you're consistent and you continue to do the work, you know what will happen? Your mental health will get better. Your mental health doesn't get better from avoidance. That builds anxiety and depression. Your mental health gets better from overcoming. It's from conquering tasks that feel impossible. You build self-worth and self-discipline and satisfaction from showing up, taking on things that feel impossible and overcoming them. You build your credibility and, as I said, confidence and self-worth and all these kinds of things from, well, doing what you said you were going to do. From following through and being the man that you said you were. It isn't easy, but it's worthwhile. Generally speaking, nothing that's worthwhile will fall into the sedation and avoidance path. It won't. It requires effort and consistency and follow through and being different, separating yourself from average. As I said many times before, look at where average is right now. I don't understand why you'd want to fit in. I don't understand why you'd want to be a part of this crowd. I have the same thing with my children. They're like, oh, don't you want them to fit in? Not in your fucking life. Have you seen the kids these days? No, I don't want them to be a part of that. I want them to be confident. I want them to be strong, fit, and healthy. I want them to be able to take on anything in this world and have the confidence in themselves that they can do so. No, I don't want them to fit in with this world and this, everybody's a fucking winner and you're a gentle snowflake and you're perfect just the way you are. No, you need to work hard. You need to put yourself out there and pursue great things and realize that joy and satisfaction comes in the pursuit of greatness. You need to show up and you need to shift your mindset and fucking do it anyway. Because you said you would. Sometimes it is like talking to a child, because I said is enough of a reason. And that applies to you. Because you said is enough of a reason that you have to get it done. You need to become a man of your word that if you say it, it is done. End of story. No more questions on whether it's worthwhile. No more negotiations with yourself. No more late night, ums and ahs about whether you should or shouldn't. It just is. And when you do this, and when you follow through, you'll realize how much of your potential you have been leaving on the table. You'll realize how much is out there for you to be achieving. And how much better your life gets just from this simple act of if you said it, it is done. That you follow the fuck through and you do what is required. This is the answer. Like, pretty much all of your problems will get better or go away if you do this. This one simple thing that if you said it, it is done. End of story. So, that's my answer today. And I know that's going to upset the snowflakes. I know there's going to be a whole bunch of people who are going to get their knickers in a knot and get up in my comments about it, but it's okay. I'm all right with it because, somebody's got to tell you the truth. Somebody's got to call you out on it, and somebody's got to tell you what is required to get to this point. I believe you have the capacity for change. I believe you have what is required to build the greatest life ever. You just have to be willing to get honest and raw with yourself and start demanding your greatness. But until then,